Howdy, all you delicious people. I'm here today to review the movie Paparazzi. So, I had seen this movie a while ago, and then I've just more recently just got a hankering for this movie again, just to watch it, just to see what it was that kind of just intrigued me about rewatching this again. Plus, it was an undeniable watch time of 84 minutes. So I was like, you know what? I really need to go out of my way to just watch this film. Whatever happens after that happens, but I really actually wanted to just see this film because I kind of actually do also like this story. So, we have teeing you up here if you've never heard of this movie before, because some people might not have. This movie is about a actor named Beau Laramie who is to eventually get into the wrong crowd of paparazzi, I guess. It seems that Beau had gone on to just bizarrely go from a carpenter to all of a sudden a movie star overnight. If anything, like knowing like some kind of like celebrity bios and stuff like that. Like I remember like Harrison Ford was one point a carpenter and bizarrely was just working on a carpenter job for George Lucas, and George Lucas was like, "Hey, how about you just kind of stand in and just kind of like help do auditions?" And so Harrison Ford just kind of just like, "Okay, sure," and then he ended up winding up doing Han Solo, and that just kicked off his career since then. I guess probably Beau ended up the same way, this character. So going into this film, we have Beau, who is to have this big movie go out, but it seems that paparazzi are starting to take photos of Beau's son, starting to take photos of Abby, and we start to see that these photos are also like very private photos, very also almost fake photos as well. We have these paparazzi who are to start rumors and photos and stuff like that to eventually make a actor like Beau Laramie look bad. We really have this rags to riches story with Beau Laramie, but like I can understand a paparazzi or a paparazzo, however they want to have their name be out there. Like I understand people need to eat. I understand people need to scrape together money to be able to, or just they just need to consistently have their name get out there, or they're going to be forgotten. I understand that. Like really, I can understand both ways of doing things with both the celebrity and the paparazzi. Because really, for me, I don't know how many numerous times that I would go and I would watch an interview just to hear some knowledge of some kind of movie from somewhere, just so eventually I could probably like talk about it somewhere on here to be like, oh yeah, I just watched this entire hour and a half interview of this person, and coincidentally that just got me interested in watching this film. And so, like, hey, this person had mentioned this little tidbit about this movie, and because I don't feel anyone else is doing that, I don't feel anyone else would take that kind of time. But yeah, and I don't care that that person probably like, dude, I've told this story 100 times to any number of people. Doesn't matter. Like, it's fun to hear like these little tidbits and little knowledge, but like you always remember that also they are a real person like you and me. How basically a celebrity like puts their pants on one leg at a time like we do. And so also we have a very interesting perspective from Rex Harper. He kind of brings to the table that everybody likes to eat steak, but nobody likes to marry the butcher, so to speak. We have Rex, who is coming at this at a very interesting mentality. And I could probably understand the way he tries to curve it, but also it seems that eventually these paparazzi get a little too far into someone's life to where they are like sneaking into their homes. Basically, they are uh, taking photos that that Bo did not want them to take, and we eventually see these paparazzi getting too far because a paparazzi has to tell Bo Laramie, it's like, well, hey, buddy, you're a star now. Like, you're a celebrity. It's like somebody is going to try and take a photo of you somewhere, whether you have clothes on or not, kind of thing. And so be prepared for that. Be prepared to have any number of things um, like come out of the woodwork that you didn't even realize or know about or whatever. It is kind of interesting to see the large amount of star power that is within this movie. Man, there was a ton of celebrities that I just kept seeing popping up during this film. We would have celebrities like Chris Rock in this film. We would have uh, Vince Vaughn in this film. We would get to have Mel Gibson, uh, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, just like the stars just kept like popping out and popping out into this film. We also have it to where this story of Bo and these paparazzi escalate pretty far to eventually being to the point of a situation where we are to almost get to a crow like situation, seeking vengeance on people that really are somehow just above the law, somehow just kind of people that have really uh, figured out a way to have people's lips sealed, have people to corroborate that they weren't actually in here or that they weren't involved or they weren't whichever. And we also have these paparazzi who are to kind of boast and kind of mention how much money that they have made off of some celebrity and how like it's surprising that like oh so and so actor is really a huge payout and so on and so forth. We also have a lot of these celebrities or people that are actually celebrities themselves, like a Daniel Baldwin, who I've seen in numerous films like Vampires and a number of other actual things as well. And uh, we have a lot of interesting things going on in this movie, but I think it's about also that time to get into spoilers because I've already been talking about this for 8 minutes. So I think it's about that time to go into spoiler time about this film. So teeing it up, it's paparazzis that go way too far, and then we are to have a man who is to go, an actor who was put into a car accident by these paparazzis, forced into taking anger management because he had thrown a punch at a paparazzi. And so we have Bo, who is a masterful man at hiding his feelings, especially once we get this detective Burton, who consistently keeps going on and trying to pull strings on Bo to see if something will fall out, and it won't consistently. So going into this movie, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it from like both sides of the fence. Uh, but yeah, I think it's about that time to go into that double five coveted time to say it is spoiler time. Spoiler time. It's about that time again to spoil this movie. But yeah, like really, I can't have any ill feelings upon paparazzi. Really, like when looking at it, a paparazzi, like basically in some aspects, like I am just as uh, kind of a person that is reporting on something, even though it's an older movie. Still, it's a report of some kind. And so, really, for me, it's just like it's kind of the same thing, but I would never go that far into trying to get a review out. Where it's I am going to I am going to rob a person's house so that way I can get a review. Like I'm gonna go and steal like somebody's Blu-ray and DVD of some movie so I can go and review a film. Like that's not going to happen. Like that's not this kind of life that I would lead to just oh well, I'm gonna steal a Blu-ray and DVD so I could finally and that's what kind of the paparazzi do. That's how far they get. So with that said, it is spoiler time. Spoiler time. It's about that time I'm going to spoil this movie. So we have the very beginning of this film. We have Bo, who is with his wife Abby and her son, which I seem to I'm assuming is Zach. So we're gonna say that they're all in this limo together, and they are to just be looking at this red carpet event. And Bo and Abby and Zach are all just like, "How did we get here?" If Bo mentioned that he was a carpenter, and how is it that he could be a carpenter and nobody's ever really looked at him twice? Because eventually he goes into this monologue to lead us to somewhere, and so we have Bo, who is to go on and go into this red carpet event, have so many flashes being taken of him, and so he is to go into, I guess, his premiere of some movie. And so we have Abby, who is telling Bo before he leaves, hey, you've worked hard, go ahead and just appreciate all this. So Bo is to after this movie is to wrap, he is to start filming yet another film. It seems like his career is going well. So we eventually start to see some kind of uncomfortableness for Bo. So we have Bo that is to go to a soccer game of his son, and so we are to have Bo go to this cafe or place to, I guess, probably it would look to be a place to get a coffee or something. And so Bo is to sign an autograph by some woman, and so he is to look at the thing that he is signing and realizing it's some tabloid showing him and his wife full on without clothes, just out and about. I think that the photo actually was edited or was just a shot thing where it wasn't actually a actual picture of them, but it just seems like some random thing was shot somewhere, and so now this woman wants an autograph from this photo. You would think this woman would not ask for an autograph off of this thing out of all. You would think she would have brought in hey, I know you come in here consistently. Here's a Blu-ray and DVD. Could you sign it, please? I'm a big fan. Hey, I have a ticket of your movie that I just kept in my wallet just for what. You would think that would be a thing that you would sign from Bo, but she signs a tabloid of Bo and his wife just displayed. So we have Bo, who is to ask the lady, well, hey, where did you get this thing? And so we have, I guess, Bo buy one of these to show to Abby, and Abby like really have it to where Abby is just like, man, like what are people gonna think now? Like if anything, like this doesn't seem like us, but anybody else might think that. So we have we have Bo and Abby and Zach, so they're going to this soccer game. So we have Zach who is getting seemingly photographed because it seems there is consistently a paparazzi that is just photographing Bo's son. And so we have Bo who wanted to have some kind of consent of of him getting photographed like this, or just consent of his son getting photographed. So we have Bo who goes to the paparazzi, who is, of course, Rex Harper. Before I went and scrolled down, I realized what the name was. Rex is to kind of just start taking shots. It seems that Rex seemingly knows a lot about Zach, mentioning that, well, hey, he probably has a birthday coming up, right? And like Bo is like you know an awful lot about my son, even probably more than I do, which is weird. But we have Bo who's like, you know what? You can take as much shots of me as you would like. Like I'll stand here. You can do as many shots as you want, but please do not take any shots of my son. Like we have Bo who's being overly polite, such a nice guy, and like that's the thing that I like about like the guy that plays Bo in this movie, who is Cole Hosser. Like he just plays a really nice, really easygoing person until he gets pushed too far. So we have this Rex Harper who is to start mentioning about these uh like these photos that he had taken of inappropriate things that Rex has taken of Bo, to start to get Bo really riled up, to where we have Bo punch Rex in the face. And so we have Rex who's like, oh, you fitta pay. We have Rex who opens up his van to have all the rest of his paparazzi group shooting shots of Bo consistently, having a video recording of what Bo is doing. I guess knowing full well that they were hoping for this moment to come, and it did, because this is a newer actor, I guess. So they figure maybe they can kind of like push his buttons much easier, I guess. I don't know. So we are to have Bo settle out of court with the whole Rex thing, getting like $500,000 and out of this whole thing. And so we have Bo who is supposed to make a public apology, and Bo will not do so. We have Bo who is to have a reporter come to him and talk about this, and Bo is like, I am never going to publicly apologize to this person. He's this, he's that, and so on and so forth. So we have Rex that is to go like, oh, well, hey, he said some like underhanded things about me. Oh, well, that's good. Well, I can do some things to make Bo look bad in the news articles. So we have Bo who is going to work one day, I guess, working side by side with Vince Vaughn, of all people. And so we have Vince who is to bring to Bo that it seems that he is going to, or he had gone to Sweden or something like that to get a Johnson enlarger, to get a Wang Dang Diddly Dang enlarger. And so we have Bo who's like, Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I love these news articles. Yeah, like cuz we consistently have people throwing these articles into Bo's face and Bo is like none of this is accurate and some other people that go and give him these articles are also saying that it's trash as well. It's like there's no way you can believe any of this. And plus also, why would all these people be going out of their way to just be like, hey, yeah, I'm a celebrity. I guess I need to go and read the tabloids to think like they're saying anything about me. Not saying that about Vince Vaughn. Like I'm just saying like I guess for movie purposes, it's just to anger Bo, but he doesn't actually get all that rattled. So we have Rex, who is going to this bar with his other paparazzi associates Leonard Clark, Kevin Rosner, and Wendell Stokes. So we have Rex, who is going to some girl and try to win her over because Leonard I guess had struck out because he had mentioned that like I think she's a les, you know? And so we end up having a lot of the other guys that are like, yeah, like it's kind of funny how a lot of the women that you bump into are usually leses, right? So we have Rex who is to go in and really try to win this one girl over that Leonard didn't. I guess it's some kind of like match to see if they can get a certain girl. So we have Rex who is talking to this one girl who is uh, Emily, I believe. I'm hoping I'm getting that right. Uh, I could be wrong. I want to be tempted to just pause right here because I know like this will be important later. Let me pause here for a second. Marcy. You know, for a person that is kind of predominantly in this movie, man, was she really kind of pushed down the IMDb rung of things in this film. That kind of sucked. She was in a lot of this movie. But I guess they did like, like, I guess maybe IMDb was like, who is her? Sure. Sadly enough, I guess maybe the credits just kind of had her at a lower rung, which is sad. Anyways, so Marcy is to talk to Rex, and so Rex is to mention because it seems immediately there is two girls in the bar mentioning how. Let me pause here for a second. All right, so we have two bar ladies haggling over Rex. It seems like there is one woman that is to want Rex, and she's a little bit drunk, and Rex has no interest in her, but she is like kept talking and connecting with the conversation, and Rex is to eventually tell her, no, go away, kind of thing. So we have Rex who is talking to Marcy. Marcy's to kind of bring up how her photos that she sees that Rex does can hurt people. And so Rex mentions to Marcy, it's like, well, hey, like, if anything, like, everybody wants steak, but nobody wants to marry the butcher. And also, like, I'm giving people a window into a life that they wouldn't be able to see. So that's what I'm providing. That's the service that I'm providing. And maybe if you are to come to me to a premiere of a film, then maybe you might see things from a different perspective of how I do things. And so Marcy's just kind of, you know what, I'm not really interested. But Rex is like, but yeah, but I can have you come to a premiere. You can see for yourself. Like if you're like mentioning like you want to eat your words, then come along. So we have Marcy who goes along with the paparazzis. So we are to have Bo go to yet another premiere, And so we are to have Bo and his wife come to this premiere. And so we have Leonard, who is to like tap the shoulder of Bo to mention, it's like, well, hey, like, like, remember me? Like, I was at this other UK premiere, and if anything, like, what was the name of the girl that was having her sit in your lap? And Bo was like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, there's no. But we have Abby who overheard that, and so Leonard is to kind of skedaddle and tell all the other paparazzi that's like, yeah, like, there's definitely going to be some lovers' quarrel going on after this, because it seems that like that did get to Abby, and that probably did get to her. So we have Bo and Abby who are driving off, of course, with their son. And so we have Abby and Bo kind of talking about this. And she used to mention, like, I can't believe that you were in this location that he was talking about. And so, like, it sounds like a lot of coincidences. And Bo was like, yeah, you know what? Like, I get all kinds of stuff all the time about any number of things that I had supposedly done. But so we are to all of a sudden have this car just barraged by flashes, consistent flashing going on, to where it seems that Abby can't see anything, Bo can't see anything, and so we have these cars that are completely boxing Bo and Abby in consistently, to where Bo is trying to put on the brakes. There's another car behind him. There's cars on both sides. And so, really, Bo has nowhere to go. And so, eventually, Bo does slam on the brakes and his car stops, but we have a car that hits him onto his side. So we have Bo now in a car accident, and we immediately have these paparazzi pulling out to see what had happened, and then immediately they run back to uh, try as much as possible to get as many shots as they can, and then they call the ambulances and whichever. So we have it that certain people are taking certain kind of shots. Wendell Stokes is trying to get a scandalous shot of Abby, and we just see them trying to like pounce and trying to get the exclusive on this car accident before anybody else is to know about it. And so we are to have Bo kind of wake up and see like these photographers taking shots of him. And so we have Marcy who gets out of the car to see if anyone's all right, and Rex is like, yeah, like we're calling the police now, like if anything we're just gonna wait by to like see if they're okay. But that's not exactly what they're going to do. They're trying to get out there as quickly as possible, get their exclusive shots, and then go. So we have Rex who knows that Marcy is going to be an eyewitness to this, and so Rex is to bottleneck that right away. Rex is to, I guess, forcibly seduce Marcy, I guess without her consent. I guess she probably had gotten drugged or something, allegedly. And so we have Marcy, who now has a videotape of her doing the deed with somebody. And so Rex is to say, like, well, hey, like, you don't tell anybody had about what had happened, and I won't let this video get out. And so we have Marcy, who is now, her lips are sealed, sadly. So we have Bo, who is seemingly the least amount of hurt out of his family. We have Bo, who is to go and see his son in the hospital. His son is in a coma, and the doctor is to come in to mention about Bo's wife, and so Abby. And so the doctor is to tell Bo, it's like, well, yeah, we had to remove her spleen, and it seems like she will be fine. It seems like it. Like, she'll just have some looking after here and there, but I think she'll be fine. So, we have, eventually, uh, we have Abby and Bo eventually at some point going home, and we have paparazzi like Leonard, who is to sneak onto their premises and try and take photos of them, mentioning that Abby is already like a drug addict or whatever just because she had taken one thing of drugs. Like, alrighty, like she can't just stop taking the drugs, I guess. Uh, and so we have Bo, who is to just try to be as nice as humanly possible about all this. And so we have Bo, who is to go to his seemingly normal spot to get a thing of coffee. And so we have the lady behind the counter is mentioning, it's like, oh, well, like, you aren't with Zach today? Like, there isn't any soccer game today? And then the woman is like, oh my god, I had completely forgotten that I had heard about your son. And so Bo is trying to comfort her because it's the nice thing to do. And some paparazzi is to take a shot. And that shot is, of course, coming from Kevin Rossner. So Bo is to kind of run after Kevin, and so Kevin is like, what, are you going to hit me too? Like, go ahead. And so we have Bo, who goes into his car and starts to drive off to eventually just drive off to the side, just in anger, just kind of punching his car. Eventually, he has a session with this anger management lady, and it seems that he mentions that his problems has faces, and that eventually we have this doctor who is giving Bo a journal to kind of record his issues, or record every single time that he's had an anger problem, and how he dealt with it. And so we have Bo, who is to leave out of this session, to us seeing Mel Gibson there, kind of doing some doodling and whichever he's doing. Maybe he's doing some research, and maybe he has no tie to otherwise being a part of this therapy. That's what I naturally assumed. Like, he's doing some research. So we push on. So we have Bo, who is to, like I said, be on the side of the road, kind of punching his car, and he's just kind of upset. So he is to try to go back onto the road to have this motorcycle come out of nowhere. And so this motorcycle coming out of nowhere eventually goes and tries to swerve to miss Bo. And so this motorcycle goes off this cliff, and so now Kevin is just holding by a pair of jeans thread to his motorcycle. to almost fall to the death. And so we have Kevin yelling out to Bo to help him. Bo runs over to go and try and see if he could help, and so he does. And so Bo grabs Kevin's hand, and we have Kevin who is to like demand help, and then we have Kevin whose life is being in the balance right now, and Kevin is like, "Oh man, am I so going to own you after all of this?" And we have Bo who's like, "Yeah, like you're gonna own nothing, cause." hand let go. Kevin falls and falls to his death. So we have this motorcycle accident that is to have led to Detective Burton going like, well, like there was some kind of car accident that led to the death of Kevin Rossner, who was coincidentally tied to Bo's supposed car accident, because Bo went to Detective Burton to try and get these guys arrested, but Detective Burton was like, yeah, we really don't have much on them. So we have Detective Burton, who after this thing is to happen, we have Detective Burton that all of a sudden is consistently coming to Bo and consistently start asking him questions. We have Detective Burton who is to tell Bo a bunch of just background information about these paparazzi. It seems that eventually Detective Burton is to tell about Wendell Stokes, who is to have had a actor take a swing at him named Andy Baldwin. I wonder who that is. Seems some high-end actor that does pretty well for himself. So, evidently, Wendell is doing well off of that. We had Leonard, who is to be a guy who is to have a illegal search done on his vehicle, which was to end up finding a gun, but it was still an illegal search. Leonard went to court about all this, and he had won. And so, really, like, this guy is, I guess, known to have a gun in his car. Like, there's a record of that. But, like, if anything, illegal search anyways. So, and plus we have Rex, who is to have a charge of some kind of sex thing going on, but it seems that he was in the clear for that, I guess. And so, really, Bo is getting a lot of information about these paparazzi and like all these kinds of things from them, or about them from this detective. So like Bo just knows how to exactly want to go and twist the knife of all of these people. So we have now. We end up having Detective Burton, who is to tell Bo that, you know what, also, like, kind of be cautious about what you say on your phone, because anybody who desperately wants to get any information about you could more than likely go and spend a certain amount of money to get a device that is able to track your phone calls and listen in on you. And so it seems that Bo is to also go and get a device that is to make phone calls, I guess from like some kind of burner phone or some kind of goofy looking phone device. So we have Bo, who is to like go, oh wow, detective, that's some nice information that you're gonna give me there. So Bo is to go and say, okay, well, like I want to get to Leonard now. So we have Bo, who is to have a security guard with him at all times within the studio proceedings, because Bo was forced to go back to work. It seems that he had been off for 5 weeks and he wasn't actually hurt. So we have the studio who's like, dude, we need you to work again or we're going to go after you. So Bo is to start filming again. And so he's on the studio. And so there's a security watching him consistently. So we have we have Bo, who is to go on and uh, go on and call his security guard to let him know that him and Nicole Kidman are going to have lunch together. And so we have Leonard, I guess, who had overheard that phone call, and so we have Leonard who is like, ooh, I want to like be able to get some shots of both Bo and Nicole Kidman. And we have Bo hanging up with that phone call with his security guard to mention like, yeah, like Leonard, I hope you listened to that. Like I hope you like snuck in on my phone conversation coincidentally and heard exactly what I was to say. So we have Leonard who is to get onto the set because he wanted to, uh, of course, pop some shots. And so Leonard is met by Bo's security. And so we have Bo who is to greet Leonard and just be like, oh, hey, yeah, like, you look familiar. Like, Bo is to tell Leonard that, like, hey, you look familiar. Like, what are you doing here? And so we have Leonard who's trying to get on to the set because he's like, yeah, well, like, I should be here kind of thing. And Bo's like, no, no, you aren't. Like, you aren't part of this film crew. Like, get out of here. So Leonard is kind of forced out by the security guard. So while Leonard is going and hassling with this security guard, we have Bo who is to plant a gun in Leonard's car. And so we have Leonard driving off, and so is Bo. So Bo is following him, and so Bo is to call 911 and mention this guy is waving a gun around and that he has a license plate of ba 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 ba. So we have all the police who are to scramble and try to get to Leonard. And so Leonard is to do the dumb thing of opening up his car, realizing there is a gun in his car, picking up the gun for police officers to see him pick up because he's like, what is this? Huh? What is this gun? Anybody know? And so we have these police officers opening fire onto Leonard, killing him off. And so we immediately have Rex, who had heard that Leonard is now dead. We have Rex who's like, dude, like, I have to call Wendell, and, like, something is fishy here. Like, how is it that both of Kevin and Leonard are now dead? This seems too fishy. There's something up with this. So we have both Rex and Wendell who decide to go uh, and while Bo is not home, both Rex and Wendell go and take cameras and phone taps and put them all over Bo's house. And so we have Abby who is to wake up and start kind of hearing a phone, and so she goes to grab the phone, and so we have Wendell who is to kind of tackle her, slap her around a little bit, sadly, but I had to mention it. So we have Abby calling, or we have Abby who is on the phone with Bo. Bo scrambles to get into the home, and uh, Rex and Wendell scramble out of there. Before they do, Wendell threatens to Abby that they are going to hurt her son if she squeals on anything. So we have Bo who calls his security guard to have his security go and watch over Zach because of what had happened, what the news, what he had heard. So we have eventually that Rex had been a little sloppy and not put every single camera into perfect position, and so we have Bo eventually realizing that, and so he is to break one of the cameras in his home. So we have Bo call Detective Burton and have more police officers go and kind of watch over his home, do some rounds around the house to kind of check over things. And uh, so I guess the police officers had mentioned to Bo that, yeah, like, I guess Abby didn't, like, catch the guys, like, she didn't see anything, because that's the reason why Bo called, is to have security watch over Abby, to just kind of put her at ease, and really also to do a thing without any kind of suspicion also. So we have Chris Rock, who is delivering some pizzas, and so we have Chris Rock, who is a pizza man, delivering to Bo, and so we have Chris Rock, who's like, hey man, like, I'll give you a free pizza if you give me one of those nice white honeys. Like, just like, I'm sure you have like 30 women all popping out of your house. Like, in the very beginning of this movie, we had Bo, who was kind of running through the beach, mentioning how, like, no one was to ever look at him twice, and now, like, there's a group of women all, like, turning their heads to look at him, which is so bizarre. We had Bo, who had mentioned that really no one would have cared about him if he had uh, a corpse in a smoking gun, like, in front of him. But now that he's a movie star, like, all that is different. To where Bo is talking in monologue about, like, how he feels about his new life. And so, but now we are at this place here where Chris Rock is talking about, hey man, free pizza if you got any white ladies coming down. And Bo's like, yeah, I'm sorry, but hey, if you could just bring one pie up to the house and bring one pie to the police officers, because they're like, yeah, like definitely go and like grease the wheels a little bit on those pizza guy on the detectives, because they have a hard job. So we have Bo, who sneaks into the pizza man's car so that way he can be able to make his way to Wendell's home. So we have Wendell, who is to come back and kind of watch the feed of Bo's home. And so Bo is to take a baseball bat to Wendell and kill Wendell. So we have Rex, who is to eventually go and seek out Wendell, and Rex breaks into his place because Rex sees Wendell lying on the ground. So we have Rex is like, oh crap, like, I'm gonna get out of here. And so Rex is to go home to find that there's a baseball bat covered with blood and blood on his boat. And so Rex is like, oh crap, like, I gotta skedaddle out of here. So because we had like Rex like digging through Bo's trash, like it was just kind of like, and like they like it seems like they go into extreme measures to try and get all kinds of things and dirt and all kinds of stuff. Eventually we have like the boasting stories of what all that they had uncovered or edited or changed or photoshopped to eventually look like a celebrity. We have certain photographers that mentioned that they had um, kind of waited for 3 days to get one shot, and how they got lucky and whatever. So we have Rex who is like seeing that there are police coming to his boat, but the police does not see Rex. Rex tries to skirt away and to try and find a place that the police don't see him so he could get out of there. So we have Rex who is to grab a gun and put it in his back pocket. And so we have Rex who is going to make it to uh, Bo's home. So we are to have Detective Burton, uh, who is to go to Wendell's scene of the crime. Excuse me. And we have Detective Burton, who is to realize that Rex is on camera at Bo's home because Wendell had made this coverage of Bo's house. So we have Detective Burton who is scrambling to get to Bo's house. So let's put a pin in that. So here's how we have Detective Burton, who is starting to get uneasy with Bo. So Detective Burton, at the scene of the crime of Kevin Costner, he is to find Bo's pen, his production pen of his company. And so we also have Detective Burton, who is to notice that Leonard's car, it seems like the back seat of Leonard's car, it seems that something hanging in the background, or something like a hanger of sorts, or that was holding some kind of coat or a shirt or something, it seems that that was kind of flipped two different ways when Leonard was to have coverage with his own secret camera on him at all times that had continuous looping footage showcasing that his shirt in his back part of his car had been shifted. And so we eventually have Detective Burton at some point in this movie coming to Bo with this, and we have Bo with really no answer. We have Detective Burton that is also pressing onto Bo to mention, like, you know what? Like, I'm a family man too. I have 6 daughters, and you know what? Like, if someone were to ever hurt my family, like, maybe I would go after him as well. And Bo says nothing. Like, Bo is just a stone-faced man. He cannot be broken. And so we have Bo, who is consistently pressing, or we have Detective Burton, who is consistently pressing Bo. And so Burton also asks for Bo's autograph, and he's like, sure, man, like, I'll definitely do that. And so we have Bo, who is to not have a pen on him, but Detective Burton has his production pen. And so we have Bo, who is to sign an autograph with the production pen that Burton has. And so we have Bo, who kind of looks at this like, but he doesn't say anything. He's like, I'm just going to sign it and feel nothing. So, and then Bo gives it back to him. Is like, yeah, you're figuring something out. So we also have Bo, who is to take another therapy session, and with all that's going on, it seems that Bo is mentioning consistently that he feels fine. and we had the therapist who's kind of like, like that seems a lot. That seems weird. That with everything that's going on, it seems like you're taking everything in stride, kind of thing. So I think that's like the first session, and then the second session is him getting the journal. But I just got them flipped around. It is what it is. So we have now Rex, because I think I kind of covered everything now. So we have Rex, who is to go on and be in uh, Bo's home. So we have Bo, who is to seemingly know Rex is coming, and so we have them kind of hearing a sound or something like that, some kind of scuffling going on down below. So we have Abby and Bo getting out of their bed. We have Rex coming in, firing into the bed, and he hits pillows. We have Bo disarming Rex and then beating the living crap out of him, and we end up having Bo telling Rex about everything that he had planned, everything that he had orchestrated, and that it's great that Bo has one person to tell, and that is Rex, about all of this. So we have a phone ringing going on, and it's from the detective letting Bo know that Rex is getting into his home, and so we have Bo who is saying like, "Oh my God, he's here," even though he's already in the room down, and so we have Bo that is just kind of tempted to shoot Rex. And so Bo is telling him everything, confessing, and whichever. And so we have Detective Burton come, and Bo is tempted to pull the trigger, but he doesn't. So we have Rex who's trying to mutter something, and really Bo is kicking him so he won't say anything. So we have Detective Burton who's like, yeah, like we're gonna cuff this guy and we're gonna send him away for a while. So we have Rex who's like, you know what, they've got nothing on me. Like, if anything, like I'll probably be out in a week. And so Bo is like, yeah, I'm sure you will. We have Detective Burton who had figured out that these paparazzi had caused this accident, and like he found out everything because Detective Burton had found a traffic light that it took a camera of Marcy and I think Leonard, and so we have uh, we have uh, Detective Burton going to Marcy, and Marcy spills the beans about everything because she had to. Told Detective Burton about the photo, and so now we have Rex who's going away for what he had done to Marcy. And so, not only that, but I'm sure he's going to jail for also being a murderer of Wendell, so he's going to be gone for a while because there's nobody else that could be easily tied to this murder. So Rex is going away, happy ending. Bo is to go on to the premiere of his sequel movie. He is to bump elbows with Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey's like, all right, and he's like shaking hands with with all of Bo's family, and so we have Bo who's going back out to the red carpet to like wave at everybody, and they take photos of him, and so we have one paparazzi who mentions to Bo, it's like, hey, you put on a few pounds there, didn't you, Laramie? And so Bo goes to him and is like, yeah, but it probably does look pretty good on me now, does it? And we have, like, the paparazzi's like, yeah. Like, kind of just like, yeah, he got a jab at him, but like, hey, man, like, but don't I look good? And so we have Bo just kind of walking off into the sunset, and that's the way this movie ends. I'm going to get out of here because I know I took way too long with this, so I'm going to get out of here. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.